That's the only thing that I don't like about Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. They call Bitcoin a rat poison.
Right poison squared, I think. Speaking of, did you see the news that came out about Steve Ballmer this week? Very interesting.
Yeah. You sent me the link. I was like, man, it would be sweet. Basically, the news was that Steve Ballmer got a 1 billion in dividends. So then that would be nice.
That's not bad. So this is money that he's getting just for having money. I guess
mainly Microsoft. Yeah, mainly this is coming from Microsoft investment. He still has a good chunk of Microsoft. So I googled it a little bit when you sent me that, and guess who actually doesn't have 1 nor 2 but 3 billions in dividends. Grandpa Warren Buffett.
Hey man, he made the game, man.
Dude, I mean, yeah, in the rate that he's going, I hope that he gets to 100, right? We discussed about Charlie Munger, his body. It's very, very long life, almost 100 years.
Yeah.
They see it. They're investors. For people that is out there, it takes a different mentality when you're an investor versus when you are making money. And it's very important to watch some of these people, like these investors, the way that they think and the way that they approach. They call them mental frameworks. Because they sometimes they explain them, like when they are in the meetings, they say, hey, this is a framework that I'm using, because it allows them to see the world in a certain way, and they have done it well for many years, right? So and it can apply to any level, and that's the interesting thing, right? It's not, you can say, yeah, but they have billions. Yeah, but the stuff and the wisdom that they provide, you can apply it to anyone.
Yeah, that's very true. You've got to create a strategy for yourself and stick to it. The what makes a good strategy is that it works both in good times and in bad times. So you can't just abandon your strategy when things aren't going as planned. Your strategy should be able to account for when things are going well and when things are going bad. So I could appreciate all that like Warren did, along with Charlie Munger, his buddy, on this whole kind of dividend strategy, kind of long-term hold, investing in companies that have strong fundamentals. I don't think he was very, very big on like the technical analysis part. It was really more about that fundamental analysis of the strengths of a company and their company's health. So they did a lot. They did a lot to that. Now, if we're making a a comparison to like the Bitcoin world, a lot of people always thinking about in terms of, how should I get into Bitcoin? How should I get into crypto? Should I do lump sum investment, like just put all your eggs in one basket, or do you do kind of more of a methodical investment using DCA, right? Dollar cost averaging, basically buying into this asset a little bit at a time. So depending on whatever, if you have $50,000 to spend in a year, maybe you're doing like $4,000 a month purchase, or maybe like $1,000 a week purchase. But the thing is that you set up the strategy and it's periodic. And that'll carry you through it. Now, it may not be 50,000. It could be like you have, $10 a week to use, right? And to get you to like $500 in a year. Like it can work for whatever budget, but that's what a lot of people think of. Now, if you think you're really good at timing the market, which everyone thinks they're a genius and they can time the market, then yeah, maybe you can say this is the absolute low, and you can buy at the absolute low and sell at the absolute high. Right? Everyone has their
Yeah,
thoughts around
and
that.
and that's almost it. You have to have an edge, and it's almost like thinking that you can win in Vegas, right? There is a lot of people in the casinos, and all of that. The odds are in the favor of the house. But it's interesting what you said on the time in the market, and I remember this picture. Please Google it, and it's Isaac Newton. It's one of the brightest minds in humanity. He actually, you see the chart, and somebody was able to get some information how he was able to, because Isaac Newton, he was hearing that people were starting to invest in the stock market, and all of his friends they start making lots of money. Then Isaac Newton like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Right. A lot of his friends are getting money. Then he's like, okay, he gets into the market, and they pointed like, where did he get?
Where you get in.
He was getting at the top of the bubble. So then guess what? Like any bubble, boom, then he loses. His friends actually got out because they already wrote it out. Then when he got out, it was when the market went down. Then again, obviously, like anything else, right? It's just cycles, and it goes up again, and then he revives again when it was going up. The whole point here is that he literally, because he was trying to time the market, he actually didn't make money. In fact, he lost. Because if you invest 100% of your bankroll, and suddenly you have a very huge decline, which it has happened on the market 50%. So that means that you don't need only 50% to get you back. You need almost 100% of what you lost. So it gets harder and harder. So, but if you stay there, and you weather it, depending of the asset, and that's the reason why we said choose an asset that it actually that you truly believe or you truly like, because in that way you can hold for a long time. So, but yeah, I think billionaires watch always those type of people are good to see how they are doing it, like how Steve Ballmer is actually able to get that much dividends, also Warren Buffett, and how they are thinking. And it's kind of sad that that's the only thing that I don't like about Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. They call Bitcoin a rat poison.
Right poison squared, I think.
Oh shit! So I'll defer there. I'm more with the billionaire there of Michael Saylor.
That's right. Oh yeah, Michael
Do you
Saylor.
want do you want to mention who's Michael Saylor and why? So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, speaking of billionaires, right? Michael Saylor, he's the CEO of MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is kind of like an analytics company. I think they create a software, a BI software, business intelligence, kind of like Tableau and stuff like that. But it was kind of one of the earlier ones. Well, anyways, they had a lot of cash sitting around. Like he needed to do it. Michael Saylor understands macroeconomics and knows that with inflation, all the cash stacks that his company had were just going to continue to dwindle and dwindle, right? At least their purchasing power and things like that. So he was on the search for how do I make my money last? How do I make it so that his kids, his grandkids, his great grandkids are going to have access to all of these funds because he sees what's going on with inflation and you lose half of the value of your money in years, right?
yeah,
So basically, he stumbled upon Bitcoin. Now get this: Michael Saylor wasn't always a proponent of Bitcoin. Early on, he didn't really understand it, and he's like, "No, why would you ever invest in something like that?" Right now, he let all the FUD get to him and things like that from him actually digging into this. Now, Michael Saylor is an MIT engineer, so he knows what he's talking about. He's able to analytically look at something and determine whether it's good or not. So after Bitcoin kept coming back, I'm sure he heard of the ups and downs. He said he looked into it and he said, "Wow, Bitcoin, this makes a lot of sense."
yeah,
It's again him being an engineer. He started to liken it to things like energy and things like
He
that. So he has a
linked it to,
very
yes.
interesting approach there. Now he's the biggest maxi of all for Bitcoin. You know, he buys more and more every opportunity he gets. I know he has one of the biggest sacks of Bitcoin out there, so he's a big proponent, and
Yeah.
he's done a lot of investing and analysis on it.
Did you knew that Chamat, and the guy now, he's a venture capitalist. He was an employee on Facebook. In one point, I think that he holded like 3 to 5% of Bitcoin. He was one of the earliest, biggest.
Early. Hmm.
Yeah, so that was one of his stats, and he's, people don't speak about it, but yeah, that was the other billionaire that that was very huge proponent of Bitcoin. The other one right now as well is Jack Dorsey. I had a chance to meet Jack Dorsey 2 years ago. The guy is like, you see him on the news, like like a hippie dude, like, yeah, all calm,
Yeah,
like
the,
it's like very very calm, like so it's very, you will not expect that of a CEO. That was a very interesting personality for a CEO. Um, but
when you get
anyways,
the founder, whenever you get a founder CEO, I think you usually see those eccentric personalities
mhm,
actually make it up. Same thing with Elon, right? He's kind of you know
yeah. I
same
mean,
same kind of
I
thing there.
I think that, and here is a good gotcha. The whole idea is for to be yourself. All of these people are themselves. Like Elon is
Hmm.
being Elon, right? Like Jack Dorsey is Jack Dorsey. So Zuckerberg, no, suck, right? Same.
Sucks.
It sucks. Some people sucky. They call it sucky too. Anyways, but yeah, going back to the money is energy. I I I actually I like that concept because when I was just literally googling what is kind of energy as well, just to rehash the concept, it's basically kind of like a physical and mental strength to be able to allow you to do things. So if you think about it, yeah, it's like a maybe money could be like fuel or like gasoline, and this is where maybe all of the philosophical thinking, it kind of falls into a place, because sometimes people work for just to get money, which that would be silly. It's like just living your life and just waking up every morning just to buy gas, buy fuel. No, that's not the point, right? The whole point is like to be able to move you around, or to be able to enjoy the typical cliche of the journey,
Yeah,
right?
I like how Wolf of Wall Street put it in Leonardo DiCaprio. They're fun coupons, aren't they?
Man, that movie was good. Like I when I saw the movie, I was like, man, now I'm pro Leonardo, right? Before it's like, come on, bro. But that one he reivindicated.
Yeah, yeah, that was a funny one. Yeah, fun coupon. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting point, right? Money is energy, and the way that Saylor puts it is like, okay, this is the first time that we have the ability. If money is energy, this is the first time we're able to store that energy long term without seeing it like fizzle away and with wastes and things like that. So it's like basically with Bitcoin, you're able to create like this battery that holds all this energy that never goes dead. Right, it's the
Yeah.
super energizer bunny over here, and so that's how he sees it, and he sees like I can store this energy, and literally, miners require energy, electricity,
Hmm.
right, to create Bitcoin and to mine Bitcoin and to protect the network. So all of that energy, all of that intensive capital is going into creating Bitcoin, and it's being stored into this coin, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so the storage of this coin, now you can transfer this coin. You can transfer the energy that was created today down the road 100 years, and it should be exactly the same. So that's where he thought, man, this is a very interesting concept. I'm able to basically capture energy today and be able to save it for later down the line without really losing half of it or all of it, or like through inflation the way
Yeah,
fiat.
because if you see even a regular battery, try to have like a battery for many years, it cannot hold the energy, right? It's just because they're physical. So it's a very interesting concept. how you can retain it without changing its value. So, and one of his premises the that is like, and remember, these guys are thinking with a lot of money and his in their mind. What applies, you can buy. You don't need to buy right now. The Bitcoin is between oscillates between 40 to 45,000. Uh, you don't have to buy the one whole coin, right? You can buy just little pieces, even $10, whatever is the. I'm not sure what is the minimum at the moment, but it's probably one satoshi. Whatever is the cost of the satoshi, which is like a very very tiny fraction. But my point here is that uh, he was saying that there is no other asset that you could literally move it around. Because usually when you are trying to have like a $1 billion, maybe let's say a property in Manhattan, the guy's like, hey, I need to sell the property. I have to have a bank. If I want to just literally go to Europe, I have to have the transaction, the wire transfer, and all of that takes like weeks or months. So with Bitcoin, or in this case with cryptocurrencies, you are able to just move it around as fast as you need, right? So, which is again, it's very interesting how these billionaires, they are thinking on how they perceive the world, and no wonder why they're billionaires, because they see it differently.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, when you have that much money, you start thinking about, all right, generational wealth. How do you protect the money? How do you keep it from from having leaks? Basically, you don't see it as like, hey, I need to buy a yacht this week. Like, do I have enough money in the account? You're not. You're kind of at a different level there. So it's very interesting, and it's fortunate that we've got folks like this. Though they do get brought down a lot by people, just because a lot of people think we shouldn't even have billionaires, right? There shouldn't be people that have that much money and things like that. But this is kind of the world that we live in, and but it's
It's
good that they've got
capitalism,
these
baby.
it's good that they've got these big brains because they're driving a lot of these innovations. By the way, pretty fun stuff though in today's podcast. I think that's all we've got for today. So just a reminder to like, subscribe, comment. We love to hear y'all's comments. Anytime we hear a good one, we'll mention it on air. And like we said, once we get enough, maybe we'll do a one-off show on these. So, any closing thoughts, Mando?
No, it's like we're getting close to the end of the year, so stay well. So enjoy the family, and let's see you next time.
That's right. We'll see you next time. Sin miedo. Bye, y'all.
Bye.